I always wanted to experience what it's like to spar with a world champion, but I didn't see coming what I'll realize from doing it. Let's start at the beginning. A couple of months ago, I met Sergej Maslobojev. He's the current WAKO heavyweight K1 world champion. As of 1st of August 2020, he's ranked number 5 light heavyweight in the world by Combat Press. Since he recently started actively running his YouTube channel, we met at his place to talk shop. Once we had a lengthy discussion on how YouTube works, Sergej asked me if there's anything I'd like to film together with him. That's when I remembered my wish to experience sparring with a world champion. Now do note, I do have some MMA experience by doing a 6 months intensive MMA camp in the States, fighting an amateur fight, and training for 3 months with a pro MMA team of the famous SBG Ireland. But I am nowhere even near Maslobojev's level of skill and experience. Still, I realized it's a unique chance that I can't miss. As he agreed to have a light sparring session with me, we moved on to his home gym. Soon enough, we were sparring. Now, I was expecting to experience a whole different level, but the way Sergej sparred surpassed even my expectations. At the beginning, I was very tense. Knowing that I'm sparring a world champ and that the camera is rolling too didn't help. But even recognizing the stress under which I could barely do anything to him. Already in the first few seconds, I noticed how he was testing my movement and meticulously reading me. Soon enough, he started to see my openings and attacking them, giving little to no break for me to think on what to do next. I was forced to fall in a defensive mode, and for the first couple of minutes, that was all I was doing. I tried to throw a punch here and there, but every time I did, I had him counter me and getting me back on the ropes. Sergej's punches were light as we agreed on, but I could feel the weight behind every single of his punches. It was clear to me that if he would have wanted to knock me out, it would have taken him less than a second. When the first round finished, we stopped to discuss. As I asked for tips, he started pointing out some amazing details. He showed me that when I am tense, my body absorbs punches much worse than when I am relaxed. Among other details, he also pointed out that it's clear that I am a beginner since I am startled by some of the punches. I agreed, but I also think that there's more to it than just that. It is something that I also experienced while training at SBG Ireland. When sparring fighters who were close to my level, I would manage to relax, exchange strikes, and try out different things. But once in a while, I met someone who was clearly above my level. They read every movement of mine and knew exactly what they were doing. The pressure of these fighters was so immense that I would not have enough time to gather myself together and act. That's what I also experienced while sparring Maslobojev, but on a greater level than ever before. I felt like a mouse helplessly being played with by a cat. As we started the second round, I made an internal commitment that no matter what happens, I will do my best to take more initiative. I tried to strike more, enter more, and took greater risks. While I ended up being a little bit more active, the results weren't much different nevertheless. And that's when my realization came. On one level, it is extremely uncomfortable to spar and train with someone who is that much better than you. At that moment, you start to feel as if everything you have ever learned was worth nothing. You feel like a helpless baby, and it is tempting to give up. But then, I remembered something I read just a day ago. It was an article about George St. Pierre, one of the greatest MMA fighters in history. This article described GSP's training in a BJJ academy. As the head coach observed him, he realized that George wasn't playing to his strengths. In fact, he was doing the opposite. He allowed other grapplers to take superior positions. He allowed them to play to their strengths, and he always kept himself at a disadvantage. Watching from the side, it could look that GSP was a novice, that he was a mouse being toyed with by a cat. But he wasn't. He wasn't losing because he was beaten. He was there on his own volition. He was honing his skills under the most difficult circumstances. He was strengthening his weaknesses. And I realized that it was also what I was doing. I will continue the story of my incredible meeting with Sergej Maslobojev in the next video. If you're interested to find out what happened next, subscribe to the Martial Arts Journey channel. Also, if you want to see my sparring progress after I quit Aikido and trained MMA for a year, click on this box right here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the virtual mat again soon.